Air pollution is weakening your lungs every day without you knowing it. Welcome to the Daily Health for the Elderly channel. In today's video, we'll explore why air pollution is silently damaging our lungs every day, why many people easily get tired, have persistent coughs, and experience shortness of breath without knowing the cause, and simple ways to help your lungs protect and recover better. This video is for health knowledge sharing purposes only and does not replace personal medical advice. Lungs not just breathe, they are also an extremely complex defense system. Many people think lungs only breathe in oxygen and exhale CO2. In reality, lungs are one of the organs most exposed to the environment. Every day, you inhale approximately 10 to 12 cubic meters of air, almost entirely unfiltered before it goes straight to your alveoli and bloodstream. At the same time, your lungs must exchange gases, filter dust and impurities, deactivate bacteria, repair damage. When the air is clean, the lungs function smoothly. When the air is polluted, the lungs are constantly attacked, but without immediate pain, causing damage to accumulate silently over time. 2. How does air pollution invade the lungs, and why is it more dangerous than you think? The most dangerous aspect of air pollution is, it's odorless, colorless. It doesn't cause immediate pain. Among them, PM2.5 fine dust is the most dangerous. It's dozens of times smaller than a strand of hair, easily penetrates the alveoli when inhaled in the alveoli, where oxygen is exchanged with the blood. Fine dust and toxic gases cause irritation, damage to the delicate layer of cells, even penetrate the bloodstream, affecting the heart and brain. The problem is, pollution happens every day. The lungs don't have time to rest, causing accumulated damage that you don't realize. 3. How does silent inflammation in the lungs occur, and why don't you notice it? When hearing the word inflammation, many people immediately think of pain, fever, severe coughing, obvious shortness of breath. But that's only acute inflammation, the easily recognizable type of inflammation. What's far more dangerous, especially in air pollution, is silent inflammation. No obvious pain, no dramatic symptoms, but it destroys the lungs little by little, every day. Inflammation isn't always bad. The problem is prolonged inflammation. Essentially, inflammation is the body's self-defense mechanism. When dust, bacteria, or toxic gases enter, the lungs activate the immune system. Inflammatory cells are mobilized to clean up. The goal is to protect the lungs from damage. If this process happens quickly, ends early, the lungs recover well. But in a polluted environment, fine dust appears every day. Toxic gases enter continuously. The inflammatory response is never completely shut off, and that's when inflammation becomes silent and prolonged. Where does silent inflammation begin in the lungs? Silent inflammation typically originates in the lining of the airways, the bronchial walls, especially the alveoli. Alveoli have a structure that is very thin, very sensitive, designed for rapid oxygen exchange. When fine dust adheres, alveolar cells are irritated. The lungs release inflammatory substances to fight back. This process repeats daily. The alveoli don't have time to recover before being attacked again. What happens when the lungs suffer from prolonged silent inflammation? Initially, the changes are very small. The alveolar walls thicken slightly. Elasticity decreases slightly. Oxygen exchange is slightly less efficient. You don't feel anything obvious. But over time, the alveoli gradually lose their flexibility. The lungs expand less during inhalation. Air entering the lungs is no longer as efficient as before. This is the foundation of many respiratory problems later on. Why does silent inflammation not cause pain? The lungs have very few pain receptors compared to the skin or joints. Therefore, the lungs can be quite damaged, but you don't feel obvious pain. Instead, the body sends very vague signals, such as more fatigue, slight shortness of breath, transient chest tightness, repeated dry cough. These signs are easily mistaken for age, weather, or weakening of the body. Silent inflammation makes the lungs age faster than their actual age. When inflammation is prolonged, lung cells have to constantly repair themselves. The ability to regenerate gradually decreases. The lungs lose their inherent elasticity. This process is like a rubber band being gently pulled every day. It doesn't break immediately, but loses its elasticity very quickly. In middle-aged and older adults, recovery is already slow. Silent inflammation is even more likely to cause long-term consequences. The link between silent inflammation and chronic respiratory diseases. Silent inflammation is the foundation for chronic bronchitis, persistent cough of unknown origin, reduced lung capacity, shortness of breath on exertion. Unfortunately, by the time the disease becomes apparent, the lungs have already suffered significant damage. Silent inflammation doesn't require immediate hospitalization, but it weakens the lungs gradually, deprives the body of oxygen, and makes you feel weak without understanding why. Early recognition of silent inflammation is key to protecting the lungs before damage becomes irreversible. 4. Silent oxygen deficiency, the root cause of chronic fatigue you didn't expect. After prolonged inflammation, the lungs exchange oxygen less efficiently even though you are still breathing normally. The result is mild but persistent oxygen deficiency. This causes prolonged fatigue, reduced concentration, forgetfulness, shortness of breath during light exercise, poor sleep, feeling tired upon waking. Many people mistakenly attribute this to age, while the root cause lies in the lungs. Part 5. Lungs loss of self-cleaning ability. Why does cough persist? Many people believe that coughing is only due to a cold or weather. In fact, a persistent cough is often a sign that the lungs' self-cleaning system is weakening. 1. How do the lungs clean themselves? Inside the airways are citricles, vibrate continuously like a conveyor belt. Mucus layer traps dust, bacteria, and toxic chemicals. Normally, dust and bacteria are trapped in the mucus. Citricles push them gradually up the throat. You swallow or cough lightly to expel them. This process happens continuously 24/7, even while sleeping. 2. How does air pollution destroy this mechanism? Polluted air causes 3 main problems. Citricles vibrate weakly, become paralyzed, and are difficult to recover over time. Mucus thickens, traps dust, but cannot move it. Bacteria easily thrive in a moist and dirty environment. Result: waste accumulates in the lungs. 3. Why does the body cough? When the body's self-cleaning system becomes ineffective, coughing becomes the last resort to try and expel mucus. But coughing doesn't address the root cause. The more you cough, the more irritated your airways become. This creates a vicious cycle of prolonged coughing. 4. Signs that your lungs are not cleaning properly. You should pay attention if you have a persistent dry or productive cough lasting for weeks, frequent coughing in the early morning or at night, a feeling of something stuck in your throat, requiring you to cough up phlegm, chest tightness, mild shortness of breath during exercise, recurrent coughing whenever there is pollution or a change in weather. Many people only take cough suppressants, while their lungs are still congested inside. 5. What if this condition persists? The consequences can be chronic airway inflammation, recurrent bronchitis, reduced lung capacity, increased risk of chronic respiratory diseases, fatigue due to prolonged oxygen deficiency. Damage occurs slowly but accumulates, making it easy to overlook. A persistent cough isn't a disease, it's a symptom. It's a sign that your lungs are no longer effectively cleaning themselves. If you only suppress the symptoms without protecting your lungs from pollution, the cough will return again and again. Part 6. How to restore the lungs' ability to cleanse themselves. The good news is that lungs have a very strong ability to recover if given the right conditions. But lungs cannot recover if they are constantly inhaling polluted air every day. Recovering the lungs isn't about taking a single pill, but about restoring the entire weakened self-defense system. 1. Minimize the burden of pollution. It's impossible to clean your lungs if you're inhaling millions of fine dust particles every day. Fundamental things to do. Wear a dust filtering mask when going outside. Avoid going out during peak hours. Close windows when the air is polluted. Keep your living space clean and dust-free. This is mandatory, not optional. 2. Provide fuel for cilia. Ciliaries in the lungs can recover if properly supported. The lungs need sufficient water, thin mucus, easily expelled. Vitamins A, C, E and micronutrients protect and repair the mucous membrane. Lack of water and nutrients, thick mucus, poor lung self-cleaning. 3. Breathe correctly to activate lung cleansing. Many people breathe shallowly and quickly, not deep enough to cleanse the alveoli. Slow, deep breathing through the nose helps. Expand the alveoli, expel stagnant air, increase oxygen circulation, stimulate cilia activity. This is the most natural way to cleanse the lungs every day. 4. Gentle exercise to expel waste. The lungs don't have strong contracting muscles. They need body movement to support them. Simply walking regularly, chest stretching, shoulder stretching, gentle breathing exercises. 20 to 30 minutes each day will help the lungs clean more effectively. 5. Silently reducing inflammation. Conditions for lung regeneration. Prolonged inflammation makes lung recovery difficult and causes persistent coughing. To reduce inflammation, you need: get enough sleep, reduce stress, eat healthily, avoid cigarette smoke, cooking fumes, and chemical odors. 6. Patience. Lung recovery is slow but lasting. Lung recovery isn't seen in just a few days, a few weeks. Cough decreases. 1 to 2 months. Breathing becomes easier. Long-term, self-cleaning ability improves significantly. The lungs get healthier little by little, but the effect is very lasting if maintained correctly. The lungs don't need rapid cleansing. The lungs need to be protected every day. Just breathe correctly, drink enough water, reduce exposure to pollution, exercise regularly, be persistent. Your lungs will learn to heal themselves. Part 7. Daily habits that silently destroy your lungs. The scariest thing about the lungs isn't pollution, but that we are unknowingly contributing to pollution's attack on our lungs every day. Many seemingly harmless, even healthy habits are actually eroding the lungs' ability to protect themselves little by little. 1. Opening windows at the wrong time, bringing pollution into your home. Many people have the habit of opening windows wide in the early morning or during peak hours, thinking that outdoor air is always better than indoor air. But the reality is, early mornings and evenings are when pollution peaks. PM2.5 fine dust is invisible to the naked eye. It silently enters your home and clings to your lungs. Result: your lungs don't get a rest. Your self-cleaning system is constantly overloaded. 2. Exercising outdoors when the air is polluted. Exercise is good, but exercising at the wrong time is extremely dangerous for your lungs. When you exercise, your breathing rate increases 3 to 5 times. Air goes deeper into your lungs. Fine dust enters directly into the alveoli. If the air is polluted, you are inhaling toxins at a faster rate than normal. This is why people who exercise outdoors still cough persistently. Your lungs are more tired after exercising. To get better. 3. Be careless with coughing chicken. Overlooked warning signs. Many people, mild cough, little phlegm, think that it'll be fine in a few days. But a persistent mild cough is a sign that the lungs have begun to lose their ability to self-clean. This is the easiest stage to recover from if intervention is early. Ignoring this stage, inflammation silently spreads. The cough becomes chronic. 4. Inhaling smoke in the house. An underestimated danger. It's not just car exhaust that harms the lungs. There are many harmful sources in the house: kitchen smoke, incense smoke, strong air fresheners, and perfumes. Cleaning chemicals. These particles, small dents, persist in enclosed spaces for a long time. The lungs cannot distinguish between clean smoke and fragrant smoke. They only know that they are being attacked. 5. Sitting too much, short breathing, difficulty opening the chest. A sedentary lifestyle leads to less chest flexibility, alveoli not fully opening, stuck air in the lungs, lungs not being able to clear waste, accumulated waste, coughing, chest tightness, fatigue. This is why office workers are prone to persistent coughing, shallow breathing even without obvious illness. 6. Prolonged dehydration. Lungs have nothing to cleanse themselves. Many people drink too little water, only drink when thirsty, but the lungs need water constantly to dilute mucus, push dust out. Dehydration. Thick mucus, helpless cilia, persistent coughing. Lack of water doesn't damage the lungs from one day of pollution. Lungs are damaged by repeated daily habits. You don't need to do anything too much. Just breathe correctly, choose the right time, avoid familiar mistakes. Your lungs will have a chance to recover. Final part. Who needs to protect their lungs now, and why you can't wait any longer. You don't need to have lung disease to be at risk. Just live in the city, over 40 to 50 years old, frequent mild cough, shortness of breath, fatigue, sit a lot, shallow breathing, exposure to a lot of indoor smoke. When symptoms are clear, the lungs are already significantly damaged. The lungs don't complain of pain, they just weaken over time. You can't wait for the air outside to get cleaner, but you can absolutely protect your lungs better starting today by understanding correctly, avoiding bad habits, and giving your lungs a chance to rest and recover. If this video helps you see your lungs in a different light, please subscribe to the Daily Health for the Elderly channel to take care of your respiratory health every day in a safe and sustainable way. Thank you for watching until the end of the video. Wishing you always breathe easily and keep your lungs healthy every day.